Let's dance in style, let's dance for a while. Heaven can wait, we're only watching the skies, hoping for the best, but expecting the worst. Are you gonna drop the bomb or not? Let us die young or let us live forever. We don't have the power, but we never say never. Sitting in a sandpit, life is a short trip. The music's for the sad man. Can you imagine when this race is won? Turn our golden faces into the sun, praising our leaders. We're getting into the music's playing by the madman. Forever young, I wanna be forever young. Do you really want to live forever? Forever and ever. Forever young, I wanna be forever young. Do you really want to live forever and ever and ever and ever young? Some are like the water, some are like the heat. Some are a melody and some are the beat. Sooner or later, they all will be gone. Why don't they stay on? It's so hard to get old without a cause. I don't want to perish like a fading horse. Youth's like diamonds in the sun, and diamonds are forever. So many adventures couldn't happen today. So many songs that we forgot to play. So many dreams swinging out the blue, and we let them come true. Forever young, I just wanna be forever young. Do you really want to live forever and ever, forever, forever young? I wanna be forever young. Do you really want to live forever, forever, forever young? I wanna be forever young. Do you really want to live forever, forever, forever young? I wanna be forever young. Do you
There is tea, coffee, and dessert on the back left side of the wall. If you're interested, we're going to be about 10 more minutes before we get started with awards. So if you like tea, coffee, or a nice dessert, they're at the back. 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 We're going to start our awards in 10 minutes exactly, so you can put your watch on that. If you need to go to the washroom, just out the door to the right. There is dessert and coffee at the back left side of the room. We're going to start awards in 10 minutes.
And I've got those feelings again. I guess I'm all confused about you. I feel so in love, oh baby. What can I do? I've been thinking about you. always been the one to say the first goodbye. I had to love and lose 100 million times. I had to get it wrong to know just what I like. Now I'm falling. You say my name like I have never heard before. I'm indecisive, but this time I know.
5 minutes. We're going to start our awards in 5 minutes. If you would like to grab tea, coffee, or use the washer in 5 minutes.
Are you falling? Center of attention, you know you can get whatever you want from me. Whenever you want it, baby. It's you and my reflection. I'm afraid of all the things it could do to me. If I would have known it, baby, I would have stayed at home. 'Cause I was doing better alone. But when you said hello, I know it was the end of it all. I should have stayed at home. 'Cause now there ain't no letting you go. Am I falling in love with the one that will break my heart? I wonder when you go if I stay on your mind. Two can play that game, but you win every time. Everyone before you was a waste of time. Yeah, you got me. Center of attention, you know you can get whatever you want from me. Whenever you want it, baby. It's you and my reflection. I'm afraid of all the things you could do to me. If I would have known it, baby, I would have stayed at home. 'Cause I was doing better alone. But when you said hello, I knew it was the end of it all. I should have stayed at home. 'Cause now there ain't no letting you go. Am I falling in love with the one that could break my heart? Oh no, now there ain't no letting you go. When you said hello, I knew it was the end of it all. I should have stayed at home. 'Cause now there ain't no letting you go. Am I falling in love with the one that could break my heart? Am I falling in love with the one that could break my heart?
I guess now it's time for me to give up. I feel it's time. Got a picture of you beside me. Got your lipstick mark still on your coffee cup. Oh yeah. Got a fist full of pure emotion. Got a head of shattered dreams. I gotta leave it all behind now. Whatever I said, whatever I did, I didn't mean it. I just want you back for good. Want you back, want you back. I just want you back for good. Whenever I'm wrong, just tell me the song and I'll sing it.
We're going to give you 2 minutes to grab your coffee and sit down because we have some incredible awards and recognition we'd like to start with. 2 minutes for your tea, coffee, and we're going to get started.
Nowhere but underline. I figured it out. The story, it wasn't good. But in the corner of my mind, I celebrated glory. That was not to be. In the twist of separation, you excelled at being free. Can't you find it? A little room inside for me. Whatever I said, whatever I didn't mean it. I just want you back for good. Want you back, want you back. I want you back for good. Whenever I'm wrong, just sing me the song and I'll sing it. You'll be right and understood. Want you back, want you back. I want you back for good. And we'll be together. This time is forever. We'll be fighting and forever we will be so complete in our love. We will never be uncovered again. Whatever I said, whatever I didn't mean it. I just want you back for good. Want you back, want you back. I just want you back for good. Whenever I'm wrong, just tell me the song and I'll sing it. You'll be right and understood. Want you back, want you back. See, I want you back for good. I guess now it's time for you to come back for good.
Let's make love tonight, baby. I'm hot just like an oven. I need some loving, baby. I can't hold it much longer. It's getting stronger and stronger. When I get that feeling, I want sexual healing, sexual healing. Oh baby, makes me feel so fine. Helps to relieve my mind. Oh, sexual healing, baby, is good for me. Sexual healing is something that's good for me. Whenever blue teardrops are falling and my emotional stability is leaving me, there is something I can do. I can get on the telephone and call you up, baby, baby. I got sick this morning.
Because the coffee and tea is so good, we're going to give you another 90 seconds to grab your coffee before we get started. That way we can hear. So we're going to give everyone another 60, 90 seconds to get their coffee. And then I think Jessica's going to start getting our council organized over by the start of the stage.
When I get that feeling, I want sexual healing, sexual healing, baby. It's good for me. Well, it's good for me. So good to be my baby. Oh, don't take
I see the crystal raindrops fall, and the beauty of it all is when the sun comes shining through to make those rainbows in my mind. When I think of you sometime, and I wanna spend some time with you, just the two of us. We can make it if we try, just the two of us, just the two of us, just the two of us, building castles in the sky, just the two of us, you and I. Look for love, no time for tears, wasted water's all that is, and it don't make no flowers grow.
We're going to continue on with the start of our awards. One of the challenges of these great nights are that everybody likes to continue to catch up with their friends. So 30 seconds and grab your seats, please.
We can make it if we try, just the two of us, just the two of us, just the two of us, building castles in the sky, just the two of us, you and I.
I'm going to get your attention, please. We're going to get started. For those in the coffee line, continue on. We just ask that if you could keep things just a little quieter so they can hear our first inductees. If you're new to Caledon, you may not know this. If you've been around for a very long time, you will. We had a series of sisters here in town. One sister, Tess, got started with the Dorado Swim Club, who is here tonight. And they've been producing Olympians since way back when Keith Beavers went in 2000. But this was her 2 medals for Tess at the Paralympic Games in Paris. And imagine being parents that you can't actually go to your daughter's Paralympic Games because you also have a daughter at the U.S. Open in tennis at the exact same time. So one parent went to the U.S. Open in tennis, well, the other for Erin. Well, the other parent went to the Para Games. Pretty amazing when you realize how small our town is, yet what we've been able to accomplish. Ashley Lawrence has been now to 3 Olympic Games, and if you're a soccer player of any significance, you'll recognize Ashley. She went to Mayfield High School. She's been to 3 Olympics, got 2 medals, and I was in Paris and had the unfortunate drone gate not occurred. Those women won their first 3 matches. I very strongly believe they would have been back in the medals again, but it's been a great year for athletes in our community. I had lunch a couple days ago with Peter Holland. He played his hockey here as a young man from the Bolton area, played for the Toronto Maple Leafs, finished his career about a year ago in Colorado. And he and I spent a couple hours and we're brainstorming next year to have a Peter Holland pond hockey tournament down at the James Dick Quarry. So Peter wants to give back to the sport. And it's amazing to see athletes like Jake, like Andrew York and others that are in the room who've had the chance to go to the very highest levels of sport. In 2015, we got a world-class facility built around the Palgrave Equestrian Center. I can literally hear them from my back door. I live in the old age home just across the street. And to see how equestrian has grown in our community, you build it, they will come. And as we continue to do that tonight and into future years, you realize just how amazing it is. Our first group, and I was so excited when we sat down to take a look at bringing in this particular group. Imagine the men that are in this room right now, they played on a hockey team in 1967. And if I asked you what great hockey thing happened in 1967, maybe you're bitter and you're Jeff Sullivan and you say that was the last time the Leafs won the Stanley Cup. Sadly, but true. But something even more important to Caledon and to Bolton were the men that are going to come up here in a minute. And I took some time to think about it. So 1967, there's roughly, that was 57, 58 years ago. These guys are going to be in their mid-70s. Some of them probably have not seen each other for years. And if you've ever played on a team and you got back together with those teammates, you know how special that is. Imagine doing that after 14 years. Bolton had not won. The Kinsman team of that era was playing in something called the Igloo. It was so cold that there was no heat and no stands. They eventually tore it down. My understanding is that the configuration was so narrow that it wasn't even proper to the width, and there was a little bump, one of the guys told me, before the blue line that acted as home course advantage. The other team wouldn't understand, and they'd be offside as they went flying over this little piece. So I want to just go to our video here to show you that team from 1967, and then we're going to bring them up here in a second to be recognized.
Seven Ontario champions, whose legacy continues to resonate in the Caledon community. This victory ended a 14-year drought for Bolton hockey and was a source of immense pride for the community. This remarkable team provided a platform for youth in Bolton to engage in the sport of hockey at a high level, fostering essential values such as leadership, discipline, teamwork, and a deep sense of community spirit. Being a member of the Bolton Juvenile C team was more than just playing hockey. It was about developing lifelong skills and friendships that transcended the rink. During the 1960s, the Bolton community rallied behind their team, filling the arena with enthusiastic supporters at nearly every game. The Kinsman's victory was a huge community event, with their games packing the old wooden arena on Hickman Street. This connection between players and fans was crucial to the team's success and was a stark contrast to today's hockey, where players often leave their hometowns and play for larger, more commercialized teams. The vibrant atmosphere and unwavering support from fans created an unforgettable experience for players, reinforcing the bonds of the community. Congratulations to the 1967 Bolton Kinsman Juvenile C hockey team.
All right, gentlemen. There's 10 of you in the room. I'd like you to come up. We're looking for Jim Casey, Jim Farkinson, Eugene Fuster, Wayne Kirby. I think Letta Chamberlain is coming on behalf of Dale Lemon, Harvey Newlove, Peter Markle, John Detchman, Ted Pregadis, and Bill Clements. If you gentlemen can work your way up to the stage, and I know that Jim and Eugene have a few things you're going to say about your team. Awesome. 1967. If you live in Ontario, it's been a long time since you had something to cheer for, so these guys might be working their way back. Come on up on the stage here, guys, if you can make it up. We're looking for a few of you guys this morning in my Masters League. I want Jim to come up first, Jim Ferguson. Jim, if you're there, yep. I'll give you the mic here.
Thank you. Well, this is wonderful. We have great pride with each other and with the community. Gosh, it was a long time ago, 67. And we all seemed to work together. We had a great coach. Unfortunately, Roy McKay has passed away. He was a super guy. And Roy was a Mason, so he had quite a few of us to get prepared for our work during the wintertime. He would hire us, and we would be slugging making mortar and slugging bricks and gosh knows what. And but by the time hockey time came along, we were in pretty good shape. So I think that was part of us. And Alita here, her brother Dale, unfortunately he's passed, but thanks for coming up here. Dale was kind of a really interesting guy. He was not very tall in stature, had a whale of a slap shot, and he was very colorful in his language. Now, and as you can see, most of us guys up here have ties on, and that was one of Roy's, you must have. You must have a tie to come because you have to represent our town, you have to represent Caledon, you have to represent us. Even when we got into playoffs, he suggested very strongly that when we were all going to high school, you had to wear a tie to school. And back then, that was, But so the teachers would ask, what the heck are you doing? Are you going to a funeral or something? Or, no, we've got a big game today in Maidstone, or that's who we beat, yay. And some of the fellows out here who came, for example, Ted, Eric Prott is out here somewhere. He was, there he is over there with the Prott crew. I was really lucky to get his uniform. So he was number 22. I became number 22. We handed down the sweaters. Nobody took a sweater home. Good Lord, that'd be too expensive. And he was an assistant captain, so I became an assistant captain. And my job, basically, we had a fairly rough and tumble bunch of guys. So my job through Roy was always to say, go over to the ref who called the penalty and say, what was it for? And so the ref sometimes got a little sick and tired of me coming over and asking that. And I said, well, my coach would just like to know what you're calling. Like, what is the call? And I think that's pretty much it for me. I had a wonderful time with these guys. Thanks much.
Jim, the only thing that I need to tell you, obviously you're a better hockey player than a strategic man because you should have taken the captain's number instead of the assistant captain. So just saying. Eugene, I'd love you to come and say a few words.
I didn't write anything down, but I got a couple notes here. So I'll hold the mic up so I can't see you because of these bright lights. My wife, Ann, who's here tonight, pointed out that I'm only allowed to speak for 1 minute. So I was going to tell you some of the places that I've played and been with my hockey, but I'm going to forget that. I'll just refer to Ricky Nelson with Traveling Man. I've been everywhere, done my share. I was a sophomore at college, and we were playing in Philadelphia, and I had the honor of meeting Keith McCreary. He was playing the game after us, and so our coach at the time took me into their dressing room, and that was a real thrill for me to go into the, this wonderful dressing room that we didn't have in Bolton, and so he and I both knew Roy, our coach from the juvenile team, and so we were talking about Roy and how everything, how we all got together, met, all from Bolton. And I won't say too much about Roy. I think that was all covered here pretty well. So, but I will say Peter Markle, he was one of the coaching staff, and he was behind the scenes. And that's a very important thing with any team. Like this team was made up of, like Jim said, of a lot of veterans, some older guys, and they sort of were the nucleus of the team. But then there was some of us younger guys, and Dale Lemon, Chris Markey, and myself, we were called the Kid Line. And when we went out to play, it was like Muhammad Ali, to float like a bee, like a butterfly and sting like a bee. And as a result of that, teams didn't know what to make of us, because they would put their best line against these younger guys, and then our old guys would just take over. So, it was not a problem. And this is how it sort of went back and forth. And it was one of those teams that it's hard to get a juvenile team that stays around, because at that age, everybody has other things to do. They got college, they got, trade schools, and they got girlfriends. I remember one time the coach said, I won't say the name, but he said, I want to talk to you after the game. And he said, well, you better make it quick because I got a cold car and a hot woman. So the one thing I wanted to tell about was with us tonight is my friend Ken Weber, and he wrote an article in the Hills about how the hockey was in the small town back in the day, and it was a really good article. And in the process of writing this article, which by the way you should read if you have a chance, he mentioned he interviewed Bill Whitbread, who was the local scoop, they called him. He was the scribe and wrote all about all the different sports in Bolton, and that kept all the fans who couldn't make it to the games because of, like you just said, other conflicts, and they couldn't fit them all in the Hickman Street Arena. So that kept all the fans informed and on the edge of their seat, which creates a lot of fun for the whole team, a lot of support, and it was a great thing to do that. I'm going over here to the other side here. And like on the Friday nights, that's when we played our home games on Friday night. They lined the teams up. They'd have the younger kids play, and then older and older. So a lot of the younger boys could play on the next level if they were shorthanded or needed some help. So that was a real good thing, and we didn't lose all our players to the AAA, AA, and all these, almost professional that it is today. It was more homegrown talent. So when I just want to do, I was going to tell you about one story. This is not a juvenile story, but the Beaton team, they were a small town like Bolton. We didn't play them because they were a smaller town, but they had a lot of players who went on to play in the NHL and play at a high level. And they had the one team went to Toronto, and they were playing this elite team in Toronto. And the coach on the other team was doing his motivational speech to get the players psyched up for the game. And he said, you have no trouble beating this team. They're a bunch of farmers. Wow, that put the mercy rule out the window, and they went out there and humiliated them like 16-1. So I just want to do a little shout out to my alma mater, Colgate University. If anybody knows any athletes that want to combine their sport with a great education, they have top-rate facilities. They have excellent programs for women and men. And they cover all the sports that are represented here tonight: track and field, field hockey, skiing, golf, anything you think of, they have it. So you can recommend that as a possibility. The only thing, you might have to stay around when Trump's there for 4 years. So I'm going to close off here. I just want to give a little thank you and shout out. I met Tara Rochester, and her father, he plays in the local men's hockey there, so she understands about the gassing on, and it's so shout out to everybody that behind the scenes who put this event on. Thank you.
Awesome. We're going to have you gentlemen work your way down to get your picture with the council, so if you just work your way back down the stairs here, guys. Eugene, I'm glad that you didn't have anything prepared, or we'd be having breakfast here in the morning. Incredible to see 1967 athletes all together. Our next athlete, just imagine if you've ever played ball hockey and you had that orange ball smash you in the leg, how badly it hurts. You know the pain of that. Imagine having that happen to you about 20 times a game. Zoe McKinnon was a field hockey player from the area. She went to the '84 Olympic Games in Los Angeles. She won big events in Malaysia, Canada Games, around the world events. And she was putting Canada on the map As a goaltender, she went 10 games with only 4 goals. And as a goalie, I let about 4 of those in the first 10 minutes today, so I don't know what zeros look like when you come through. She had an incredible career, was inducted into the University of Toronto Hall of Fame and the Western Sports Hall of Fame. She passed away in 2014, but would love to have her sister, Fran, come up and say a few words on her behalf. Just hold on here for a second, Fran.
As a field hockey player, Zoe represented Canada on the international stage, competing at the 1984 Summer Olympics in Los Angeles and showcasing her talent at the 1983 World Cup in Malaysia. Her journey began early, winning a gold medal at the 1977 Canada Summer Games while still a student at Mayfield Secondary School. As she transitioned to university, Zoe made an immediate impact, contributing to both provincial and national championship victories. In 1981, she led her team to a national title win, displaying remarkable skill as a goaltender. Her performance during the 1982 regular season was nothing short of phenomenal, allowing only 4 goals in 10 games, and matching that impressive feat with another 4 goals in 6 championship games, earning her team a silver medal. In recognition of her achievements, Zoe was inducted into the University of Toronto Athletic Hall of Fame in 2011 and is also honored in the Western Australia Sport Hall of Champions. Congratulations, Zoe.
Now we're going to get Fran up.
First of all, on behalf of Zoe, I'd like to thank the town of Caledon for inducting her nomination into the Caledon Sports Hall of Fame. Zoe would be honored, as we, our family, are, that her hometown of Caledon has recognized her achievements and memorialized her in this Sports Hall of Fame. Thank you.
You may or may not know that probably the biggest event that's going to happen, one of the biggest in Canada, is going to be here in June. The Canadian Open Golf Championships, the Tiger Woods, the Blimp, the 50,000 spectators a day are going to be coming right into Caledon and continuing to show that our little small community can do very, very big things. Our next inductee, I just found out 20 minutes ago. Should have put the last names together, but didn't. Beverly Holden, if I asked you, we had time, we could play a little game and take the deepest breath you could, hold your breath, and see who can go 30 seconds, who can go 45 seconds. When you get up over a minute, you're probably talking about McGill and some of the great swimmers in the room. Imagine doing that 60-plus seconds underwater, duet, holding another person, having to make it look like it's no stress at all. International synchro swimmers are incredibly fit people with incredible VO2 maxes and aerobic capacities. Beverly led Canada to a combination of many different awards, but she was a 1955 Pan Am first port in the sport. This is long before the Sylvia Furchettes and all of the synchro swimmers that we know of the 80s and 90s that went to the Olympics. She put Canada on the map in a very early time. I'd like to just show the little video here of Beverly Holden.
Beverly Holden is one half of Canada's duet synchronized swimming team that won the bronze medal at the 1955 Pan American Games in Mexico City, which was Canada's first medal in the sport. Beverly's partner in the sport was Diane Ferguson. Together, they showcased their talent and dedication, clinching both the Ontario Duet and Canadian Duet Championships in 1954. Their performances not only captivated audiences, but also set a high standard for excellence in the sport. Beverly's roots to the Caledon area date back to the 1900s, with contributions that extended beyond the pool. A proud resident of Caledon from 1971 to 2005, she was recognized for her achievements when she was inducted into the Caledon Walk of Fame in 2015. Congratulations, Beverly.
How cool is it that she's going to be escorted up onto the stage by her grandson, who also is an Olympian from Caledon. So Jake and Grandma, come on up. Jake is our snowboard cross athlete. And because Grandma has the looks and Jake has the pipes, he's going to speak on Grandma's behalf.
Right? Sorry about that. No. Good evening, everyone. You got it? Thanks. My name is Jake Holden, and I am one of Bev's grandsons. Bev Holden, or Mimi as I know her, has asked me to speak on behalf of her during tonight's induction ceremony. Bev is absolutely honored to be inducted into the Caledon Sports Hall of Fame for her contributions to the sport of synchronized swimming. Her family is deeply proud of her, and we're all grateful to mark this moment in time with her today. We'd like to extend our heartfelt thanks to the town of Caledon and the organizers of tonight's event for bringing us together and realizing the vision of Caledon's new Sports Hall of Fame. What an incredible way to celebrate all the inductees and recognize the incredibly talented people within our community. Bev and her family have called Caledon home since 1971, and her love for sports and this beautiful area has been passed down through 4 generations and now extending to her great-grandchildren growing up here. My grandmother recently celebrated her 90th birthday, and she continues to move through life with vitality, passion, and a grace that we all cherish. She has been a true pioneer for her sport of synchronized swimming, and she'll always be a legend to the ones who know her best. I'm proud to say our family is filled with strong, determined individuals, and without a doubt, my grandmother stands out as one of the strongest and most resilient women, both mentally and physically, that I've ever known. Determination and grit are the 2 attributes that I believe made her an incredible athlete, and they will be her living legacy through her family's generations to come. Thank you once again for recognizing Bev Holden tonight. We can't wait to see how the new Sports Hall of Fame will provide a greater opportunity to recognize and inspire the athletes of Caledon across the years.
What is really amazing is to realize that, in the 50s, they probably weren't overly encouraging women to do sport. So when you see a family, Grandma got it started and pushed it down through son and grandson and probably some great-grandchildren as well. The Caledon area has produced some great hockey players, and we have right now 3 women playing in the Pro League that just played their hockey in these arenas in just the last couple of years. So the professional hockey league that's out there has been an amazing opportunity. You can see it in women's soccer that's coming, women's basketball that's coming, and Caledon has 3 women right now playing on the international scene. If you were a young boy in the 60s, you definitely dreamed, I think, of playing in the NHL. Keith McCreary made his National Hockey League, played for Montreal Canadiens. There you go, Jeff. Eventually came to his senses, moved over to Pittsburgh Penguins. And when finally the Atlanta Flames decided and got their franchise, they were looking for a person who had leadership and ability to take a brand new team in a brand new American city and help stabilize it. And Keith was the man that they brought in. He played 532 games, 131 goals, 116 assists. But probably his biggest legacy was what he did after hockey. He spent a lot of time on the Players Alumni Association. He acted on Caledon Council for 11 years. He came back to Caledon and was on our council for over 11 years. I talked to one of his daughters, and they said that they had a swimming pool where they went in to change their clothes. There was a door, had all the pucks of all the NHL teams. And the day that he got traded from Pittsburgh to Atlanta, the puck from Pittsburgh fell off the door, symbolic that Dad was moving on. And we've got a little video here we're going to show you of the great Keith McCreary from Caledon.
Keith McCreary is a distinguished figure in Canadian hockey. Keith made his mark in the National Hockey League, playing for legendary teams such as the Montreal Canadiens, Pittsburgh Penguins, and Atlanta Flames. After dedicating 7 years in the minor leagues with the Canadiens, he became a regular in the NHL with the Penguins following the 1967 expansion. In 1972, Keith was claimed by the Atlanta Flames in the expansion draft, where he proudly served as the franchise's first captain, a testament to his leadership and talent. Over the course of his career, Keith played 532 NHL games, recording 131 goals and 116 assists, and always served as a player representative, serving as a strong voice for his teammates. Beyond his on-ice achievements, he also made significant contributions off the ice. In November of 1999, Keith was one of the esteemed founders of the NHL Alumni Association to help all former NHL players and their families make tomorrow better than today and honor the past. Keith was elected as a regional councillor for Caledon in 1978. He served for a decade, demonstrating his commitment to the community that his wife, Carol, was born and raised in, and where his two daughters, Wendy and Carolyn, grew up. Keith passed away in 2003 of pancreatic cancer, but his plight to help his teammates lives on. Congratulations, Keith.
I think both of the girls are here. I know Wendy is for sure. If Carolyn's here, if we could get the two of you to come up, and Wendy's going to say a few words. It's funny looking at those pictures with, no shoulder pads or virtually no shoulder pads, no helmets, a different era of hockey.
Thank you. Are we on? Yeah. Okay. I was going to call Eugene up to share with Carolyn and I maybe some of the stories, but Eugene, I think you've got enough stories going, so. We have some stories to share, but Carolyn and I as kids actually we had to sign non-disclosures at the kitchen table, because our dad won't allow us to share those stories, so we'll just talk about him a little bit. On a serious note, good evening, friends, family, and all fellow inductees. Congratulations to all the inductees this evening and to all of your wonderful accomplishments. Dad is in really good company. I've had the good fortune of working with the NHL alumni for 25 years since its inception, of which Dad was one of the founders. His memory lives on each day through the stories that are shared through his teammates and those in the hockey world. He was loved by those teammates for his loyalty, his tenacity, on and off the ice, as a captain, player rep with Pittsburgh and Atlanta, for taking care of the interests of his hockey family. Sorry, I'm a little emotional. It was so important to him to be a good leader and spokesperson for his teammates, ensuring they and their families were all taken care of. He carried on the same philosophy and dedication off the ice when he retired, and made the decision to throw his hat in the ring for regional councillor with the town of Caledon. His bright light was helping others, and he wanted to try to make a difference in his community. He served for 10 years here on the council as a voice for the residents of Bolton. We may be biased, but we would like to think that our dad made a significant difference in hockey and here in this great community of Caledon, where my mom was born and raised. They met, they married, and my sister and I had the good fortune of growing up in. On behalf of my mom, Carol, my sister, Carolyn, myself, his grandsons, JD and Ty, who weren't able to join us, We wish to extend our humble and heartfelt thank you to our family and family friends who are here to support this honor. The Town of Caledon Sports Hall of Fame and the Selection Committee, Barry Shepley, Lori Dupuy, my dear friend, Scott Skimming, my sister's high school friend, Kimberly Medeiros, Larry Proctor, and of course, Jessica Virgos Mayo and Tara Rochester, and all of the committee for all of your hard work to make this evening happen. Success is best when it is shared. Thank you. Dad would be so very proud, and we thank you for sharing this honor. We look forward to the upcoming athletes in this good community of Caledon.
Scott Skimming, you might get outed before the night is over here. I'm going to have to talk to Carolyn. The next inductee's story probably sounds like it could be made up. I knew Lisa Bentley when she was a little Waterloo runner, just getting started in the sport of triathlon, made a national team. What was impressive about her was her never-stop tenacity. She went to the Pan American Games, doing all of this while battling cystic fibrosis. Never talked about it, never made it an issue. She won 11 Ironman races, 2.4-mile swim, 112-mile bike ride, then a 26-mile marathon, 16 half Ironman races. She's an author. We worked together with CBC at the last Olympic Games. She is a motivational speaker and one of the most incredible women I've ever spent time with. And you just need to hear this one story to know everything about her. We were in Hawaii. She had come third at the Hawaii Ironman, the World Championships, the big dance. And this was going to be more important because not only was she racing in Hawaii, but 2 days later she was getting married. And so people from New Zealand, people from Australia, Canada, all made their way to Hawaii to celebrate with Lisa and her fiancé, David Cracknell. And the swim didn't go well. She didn't look like she was the regular Lisa I knew. She got out, but she looked a little gray. She worked through 180 kilometers of wind and humidity at the Hawaii Ironman lava fields, came off the bike, and usually the run, she just tears through people running 3 hours for the marathon off the bike, like these incredible times. But 5 miles in, she looked tough. She looked tougher at 10 miles. 14 miles, finally, David pulled her off the course. They went to the hospital where her appendix had ruptured about 6 hours before. That's the kind of tough woman she is. Well, she took the IV out, put the wedding dress over the stitches, and wasn't going to let the people from Australia and New Zealand down. She made her way down the beach for their wedding, and I know her husband's watching, streaming on tonight. We've got a little video here of the great Lisa Bentley.
Lisa Bentley is an 11-time Ironman triathlon champion and 16-time half Ironman champion. Lisa's remarkable journey has taken her across the globe, winning races in Canada, the USA, Germany, Japan, Australia, New Zealand, Chile, and the Philippines. A true ambassador for Canadian athletics, she represented our nation on the international stage for many years, including her participation in the Canadian Pan Am Games team in 1997. In 2006, Lisa showcased her incredible prowess by finishing third at the prestigious Hawaii Ironman World Championship and second at the Half Ironman World Championships just 3 weeks later. Moments that solidified her status as a top-tier competitor. Since Lisa's retirement from professional sport, Lisa continues to motivate people of all ages to engage in sports and embrace a lifestyle of health and wellness. Her book, An Unlikely Champion, published in 2018, shares the strategies and tactics for success in life, work, and play that you learn from 20 years in sport. Additionally, her work as a motivational speaker and television commentator give her a platform to help others exceed their own expectations and live their best lives. Congratulations, Lisa.
Come on up, Lisa. By the way, while Lisa's working up here, I forgot to mention Kaylee Sweeney, the young woman who did a great job at O-Canada. She's back home studying for probably a final now, but I think her mom's in the room and she's got a beautiful voice. Lisa made her way up yesterday from Florida, so if she looks tan, not pale like the rest of us is because she spent her winter in Florida.
Thank you. Now, Barry, do I get to introduce you? That is the question. Thank you very much, and thank you, Town of Caledon. I moved to Caledon so that I could swim, bike, run, and these hills were my cycling playground and running playground, and Dorado swim team welcomed me in there to swim with their 10-year-olds. I'm not joking. I swam with the 10-year-olds, and every year they'd get better, and I'd stay in the same lane. But I was welcomed into this community and have really developed my craft here. But, you know, I get to stand here on stage, but this isn't really about me. This is about the people I had behind me. And we all have a dream team. That's important. And my dream team is really who should be on this stage and not me, because I would never, ever be up here if it wasn't for my community, for my family, for my sisters, my brother, my husband. He's not here, and it's gutting him. He's always been my biggest supporter. His family's here, and my mom and dad. You know, I say that they were my first and best coaches, and they never coached me in swimming, biking, or running. But they were my first and best coaches because they taught me to put my crayons away when I was done. They taught me to never give up. They taught me that I could do anything. And that's why I get to be on this stage, and that's why I got to do my sport. So I thank my family, my friends, my community, my mom and dad, my husband, all of you, of course, for giving me this honor. And you know, sport changed my life. Changed my life. I would not be who I am without it. It developed my self-esteem and my confidence, my courage, my resiliency, and it really made me believe that I could do anything in this entire world, and I really believe that. I might be scared, but I think I could do it if I had good teachers and they taught me. So it's so important that we all share that with our community, with our young people, that sport will change their life. And not just young people, older people too. It will change your life, longevity, health, wellness, mental stability. We all need to be active. We all need to be doing sport. Sport gave me that gift. I want us all to give that gift to other people as well. We all need a Beverly. And Beverly, you are a trailblazer. You are not just an athlete, a trailblazer. And I thank you for paving the way for myself and other athletes and young women. So please embrace sport. It will change your life. It will change the life of your community. Thank you so much for this honor.
One of the toughest ladies I've ever met. If you live next door to the bobsled, Rouge in Calgary, you probably could be a good bobsled coach. And if you live next to Whistler, maybe a good mountain bike coach. But when you live in Caledon and you create one of the greatest cross-country ski programs in the country, you're a pretty special coach. And Angus Doty would have his athletes early in the spring and summer doing track. They would be out on the rollerblades and dry land training. 30-plus medals his athletes at Mayfield won, sent athletes to the Olympic Games, 30-plus years of teaching and coaching, not just cross-country skiing, but he also was in rugby and soccer and track and other sports. And I just met him briefly tonight. He's living up in the Collingwood area, back involved in the sport as well. Just an absolute legend, how many lives he's changed. And we've got just a little quick video before he comes up.
Angus Dowy is a dedicated coach whose influence on sports at Mayfield Secondary School has spanned 3 decades. Under Angus's guidance, the Nordic ski program at Mayfield became one of Canada's most successful high school training programs. His coaching expertise extended beyond Nordic skiing, as he also led teams in rugby, swimming, cross country, and flag football, fostering a spirit of excellence and teamwork across multiple disciplines. Over his impressive career, Angus coached 38 team gold medalists and numerous individual provincial championship gold medalists. His commitment to nurturing young talent did not stop at Mayfield. He also served for 8 years on the OFSA Sport Advisory Committee for Nordic Skiing, helping to shape the future of the sport at a provincial level. Angus's impact on the sport in Caledon is profound, with 3 of his individual skiers going on to represent Canada at prestigious World Cup events, World Championships, and even the Winter Olympics. Congratulations, Angus.
Come on up, Angus. If you were here last year, you'll know that his team actually went in the team category. And the challenge that we had at the Hall of Fame committee was deciding which years to represent, because he had about 20 years in a row of great success. But we had some Olympians on that team that was here last year.
Thanks, Barry. First, I'd like to thank the Hall of Fame for this amazing honor. It's really incredible to be standing here among other inductees whose athletic achievements far exceed mine. I'm here with my childhood hockey idol, Keith McCreary. Jim Farquharson was my very first swimming instructor when they took swimming lessons at Dick's Dam in Bolton. So it's really amazing to have this honor. I'd like to thank administrators at Mayfield who really supported extracurricular activities, and that was critical. The coaches that I was lucky to share many, many hours after school with, both in cross-country skiing and as well in other sports, was really important. But mostly, I think I need to thank the athletes that I had the privilege of coaching, because it was their energy, their enthusiasm, their dedication and hard work every day after practice that was what gave me so much joy of coaching and really made it rewarding. And so I think it's really important that we continue to foster strong extracurricular athletics programs, sport programs in school, and particularly in high school, because it makes a profound difference. So thank you very much.
Now tell me that dude's not got a good retirement life coming on. He gets to cross-country ski all winter. He looks like he could go and smash some young guys. Still a fit man living up in Collingwood now. Our next inductee, our second last inductee, is doing something that rarely happens in any Hall of Fame anywhere in the world. And that is being inducted into 2 categories at the same time, at the same supper. Pretty amazing. Doug Wood was an incredible pole vaulter at York University. He set many national records, many times gold medalist at the university level. Went to the 92 Olympics, did enough as an athlete that he deserves to be in the halls, stand alone, there you go. Did more once he retired. Absolutely incredible. He'll tell the story, I'm sure, but bits of information I got that after he retired from competition, he got a couple calls from parents in the area saying, I've got a son or daughter who needs a little bit of help with pole vaulting. Would you stop in? And anybody who knows the bug, McGill, other coaches in the room, you know, once you have that bug, it's there for the rest of your life. So Doug came out, spent a little time with some high school kids. He turned Bolton into the pole vault capital of Canada, literally the pole vault capital. Decathletes, national champions, and the young woman that came home, Alicia Newman, with the bronze medal from Paris in pole vaulting, who literally, if you had a really good 3-iron shot, you could hit her house straight across the street. Unfortunately, I spoke to her earlier this week. She's in Europe, I think, at a competition. Came home with the first ever medal for Canada in pole vault, and I was in Paris, and it was such a joy to see Doug and his team who put in so many hours. We've got a little bit of a video, and then we're going to bring up the 2-time builder and athlete. First time it's happened here and rarely anyplace else.
Douglas Wood is an outstanding pole vault athlete and coach who is being inducted into both the athlete and builder categories. Doug represented Canada as a pole vaulter at the 1992 Summer Olympics and earned a silver medal at the 1991 Pan American Games. He was one of the most decorated student athletes at York University, winning gold medals at the provincial and national championships for 4 consecutive years from 1991 to 1994, and earning numerous honors, including the Outstanding Athlete title at the CIAU Championship in 1991 and 1992. Doug set the CIAU meet record in 1992 at 5.65 meters and the OUAA meet record in 1994 at 5.45 meters, holding the Canadian record from 1989 until 2014. In July 2012, Doug launched a pole vault training program in Caledon, raising the necessary funds to purchase equipment and train athletes on the tennis courts at Humberview. In 2014, Doug established Bolton Pole Vault, which has since grown into the premier club for pole vaulters in Canada. His coaching expertise spans from beginners to OFSA champions and even Olympians, including Canadian record holder Alicia Newman. Thanks to Doug's tireless efforts, Bolton has become a destination for vaulters from across Canada and beyond. Congratulations, Doug.
Come on up, Doug. So if you look at the ceiling, think of having to go about 8 feet higher than the ceiling with a little pole. That's Doug's career. And in Paris, men and women's pole vault, in my mind, were probably the most exciting events happening, maybe equal to the hundreds.
Thank you, Barry. This is a really big honor, and I thank, just let me get my notes out. Very, very honored to be part of this nomination for, or this group of athletes and builders being inducted into the Caledon Hall of Fame. My wife and I chose Caledon to be our home in about, right around 2000. We bought some property and built a house. And over the years, it became more than just our home. It became our community that we really become attached to, and we're very proud to call Caledon our home base. And our kids have been raised here, and we're very, very happy here. I've been involved with pole vaulting for 45 years. I hate to say that, but it's been 45 years. And I started. It's not an event that most people would even find any opportunity to do, but I went to a high school track meet when I was in grade 9, and I went to my high school coach and said, I'd like to try that. And he and I basically learned together how to pole vault. And if I had to select a single word to kind of describe my feelings about my sport and my involvement in sport, I think it would be grateful. It'd be impossible. It's actually impossible for me to list the people that have helped me get to where I am as an athlete and as and my coaching career. I'm grateful that my family supported me ridiculously, because pole vault, as you can imagine, is not extremely lucrative. Without my parents and my sisters and their patience and unwavering support, Doug Wood as a pole vaulter doesn't happen. I'm grateful for my wife and her support. Without my wife's indulgence and continuously missing weekends for track meets, then Bolton pole vault doesn't happen. I'm grateful that my high school coach, Bob Campbell, decided that he could learn with me. We sent away for videos, Super 8 videos, click, 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 click videos, and watched them and tried to figure out how to do that. Without him, I don't pole vault. I'm grateful that Scott Skimming answered the phone call when I called him out of the blue and said, I'm thinking about starting a pole vault club. Can I join 310 running? He had no idea who I was. I'm grateful that he answered that call, because if he doesn't answer that call, Bolton pole vault doesn't happen. I'm grateful for so many things. And I'm grateful for my coach, the guy that, he's not here, he doesn't live in Caledon, but he deserves this as much as I do. He taught me so much. His name's Zdenek. He and I coach Alicia together. He was my mentor, he was my coach, like my coach, and now we coach together at Bolton Pole Vault, and together we've created a very, very special special center for pole vaulters, and we're drawing people from around the world right now to this program, which is very exciting. And in closing, I'd like to just go to the future for where we're hoping to go. Our plan right now is, with Alicia's success and with her support, we're hoping to build a high-performance athletics training center at Humberview to go along in partnership with the beautiful track that's already been built there. Stan's a big proponent of this, and I'm very grateful that Stan has reached out to us and offered his support for this program. The town council has been very supportive. I really feel this is going to happen. It's an exciting future for our sport. Just to give you an idea how important this is, in 1979, York University was built as a track and field training center in Southern Ontario, and since then there has not been any additional infrastructure, indoor track and field infrastructure added in Southern Ontario. So it's desperately needed, and why not Bolton? It's a perfect spot. Thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of the evening.
Thank you. I will send you a check.
Oh man, great.
I'm going to put a challenge out there eventually. I'm going to send him a check for that academy, and I'm going to put a challenge to others who care about doing excellence in our community, whether it's $50 or significantly more. Our last award of the night, I'm going to ask a man to come up who, if you understand excellence, you'll understand Andrew York's journey. He is an Olympian for Canada. He went to Pan Am's, Commonwealth Games. He was a McMaster University running superstar during his days there. And I got to spend a lot of years with the young man who's now a part of what's called the ERT. If you know anything about, it's like Navy SEAL on steroids. It's our best OPP officers. And Andrew is in that program. So when you have a serious problem and you need the best of the police officers, he's the young man to call. Andrew York.
I was going to say, Barry, you got to go down the ramp. Everybody else had to come up it. Yeah, it's my absolute pleasure tonight to introduce Barry Shepley to the Hall of Fame as an inductee. I met Barry about 25 years ago on a night kind of like this over at the Bolton Arena. He was doing a talk after the Olympic Games in 2000 where he'd been the Olympic coach. I was a young kid, not very good at sport. Was able to join the C3 club and experience some of the facilities that Barry was able to get us access to, including building the James Dick Quarry, I guess not digging it, but actually getting the beach ready so athletes could actually take advantage of that. And he's had athletes compete all over the world, from the local level all the way up to the Olympic level, from age group to elite. He's one of a kind. If you're from Caledon, you absolutely know him. So come on up, Barry. Oh, we need the video first.
Barry Shepley is an instrumental figure in the Caledon sports community, whose unwavering dedication has profoundly impacted the lives of countless athletes, teams, and coaches over the years. Barry was one of the key founders in both Triathlon Ontario and Triathlon Canada, and created Canada's first national youth program called Kids of Steel. Barry was Canada's national triathlon coach from 1991 until 2001. And has been to 7 Olympic Games as coach and Olympic CBC commentator. In 1995, Barry helped create C3 Canadian Cross Training Club, based in Caledon. The nonprofit hosts dozens of local races, and in 2002, partnered with James Dick Construction to create the popular C3 James Dick Beach, now used for camps, family swimming, paddling, beach volleyball, and year-round relaxation. Since C3's inception, 4 Olympic athletes have grown out of the local program. For over a decade, Barry has been the chairman of the Coaches Association of Ontario, where he has used his vast experience to help guide the province's coaches in 20 different sports. Together with his late wife, Karen Shepley, Barry has helped to raise over $1 million for animal charities and continues to carry on the work in Karen's name, with the Karen Shepley Dog Park at the James Dick Beach being considered the best dog park in Canada. Barry said none of his success could have happened without living in the small community of Caledon, with the volunteers, sponsors, and athletes who have been dedicated to excellence. Congratulations, Barry.
I was giving serious thought of having Eugene come up and do my speech, but I'm going to keep it shorter. If you could imagine being 15 years of age and your dad tells you draft day just happened in junior hockey, you didn't get drafted, and your dream of going to the NHL is essentially over. I remember the day. I'm living in a town of 2,000 people without a Tim Hortons or a stoplight or a swimming pool. And it could have been grim, but I was a dreamer, and I had family that encouraged and supported dreaming. And 45 years later, I spent my entire life playing games. My dad asked me again today, what is it that you actually do? He asks me that about every 2 years. He's a bit confused what I actually do. I met a 12-year-old Simon Whitfield in Sharbot Lake. He was doing his very first triathlon. And 13 years later, that young man was my roommate in Sydney when this jersey, which he forgot his, so he had to eventually wear mine, was on top of the world with the gold medal. And Andrew told the story. Literally, I went to the Bolton arena to do a little talk, and Andrew and his dad Ward, and I think maybe their daughter Amy, were sitting in the crowd. And Ward continues to remind me that this free talk that he came to cost him $250,000 of Andrew's swim lessons, bikes, and travel around the world. I got a chance to meet a 55-year-old Bob Nucky, who was just retiring from teaching after 30-some years in Caledon. He was a marathon runner, and now 22 years later, he's a 5-time Ironman champion. How crazy that a dream without any finances, any substance, any government support could turn into the journey. And it could not happen, as Lisa talked so brilliantly, and so did Doug, and I think everyone else alluded to it, that without your family and the team behind you, you could never get there. And I was so blessed. My family's here today, so thank you to my parents and to my brother and sister-in-law, Jill and Tim, who've been a big part of my last 30 years. To the C3 family, and you guys know who you are, when we need to get an event done, when we needed to fund Andrew York to go to New Zealand in 2012, I think it was, because I knew that if that kid doesn't get to New Zealand, he's not going to be 4 years later at the Olympic Games. And fingers and pots and dollars from Dave Uglow and Steve Benson and Kim Nelson and others helped to pay that way. And unfortunately, money does come into sport, and we've been blessed that we've had volunteers in the area. The great coaches like McGill and Lewis, who do all the stuff behind the scenes so that occasionally our athletes can have those big days, is just absolutely brilliant. But a rocket can't get off the ground without rocket fuel. And I was blessed to have 2 rocket fuels in my life. My business partner, who is here, Sheldon Prasad, I met him 35 years ago at McMaster University. And we've been in business together. And then my wife, Karen Shepley, who's passed a year and a half ago. And the crazy thing, if you ever sat in a room with us, you would hear about an idea that 99 people would say, run away. That is crazy. That's too expensive. It's too big. It can't happen. But guess what? We sat down with James Dick and Greg Sweetenham and Craig Kennedy, and what had been a fence that said, do not enter trespassing at James Dick Quarry on Highway 10, 18 years later, thousands of people are swimming and paddleboarding and playing beach volleyball. We've now winterized it, so the ice is spectacular to skate on. We have cross-country skis and snowshoes. All of that has happened because of a dream and the rocket fuel of C3, and particularly of Sheldon and my wife. I want to thank the Hall of Fame committee because they were very, very bad people. We made an agreement that we would never nominate somebody who was on the committee I supported that, and I'm in New Zealand only to see my name pop up on a list that I'm being inducted into the Hall of Fame. So I know that was the council who did that, Nick and others. Thank you for that. More important for me, coming in on the year of Lisa Bentley. So to be there with such a great friend on such an important day is absolutely incredible. And to be a part of the class of 2025 with the Dougs and the Lisas and the Bevs and those amazing hockey guys. My highlight of the day was to meet you guys and to understand how joy of sport, 57 years later, did not dissipate from your bodies. And you can feel it and you understand it. And when we beg you to fundraise or to donate or to help athletes, I really, truly ask you to understand what you saw tonight with 75-year-old guys who, if there was a bar in here, they would not get them out till probably, Friday afternoon. So, gentlemen, thank you for making my night. It was truly the most important part was to see the joy of you guys. We're going to bring things to a close because I know it's getting late and you need to get on the road. I want to thank the universe for giving us tonight and not last night, the snowstorm. So, life is about timing. Andrew York, there's no one I would rather have had brought me into the Hall of Fame to have you, to know the gentleman that you are. And literally, one last story about Andrew. The OPP have this fitness test you have to do. It's a 1.5 mile run. And for 106 years, whatever the number is, men and women have been having to do this test or else you can't get on the force. And nobody has ever broken 7 minutes till I got a phone call from Andrew York said, guess what? Didn't have to guess. He is the all-time fastest man to ever go into the OPP. So if you have kids who have a trouble, you should stay away from that guy because he can run them down. So the last bits are now just homework before we leave. If you are those amazing inductees, we'd ask you, if you can, to take your paraphernalia that's along the wall over there, those beautiful pictures and posters, if you can, take them. If you can't, I know Jessica and Ryan, who are the people why tonight. Jessica and Ryan, I know you have a whole team of people that I can't name, but if you ever put on a party and every 15 minutes, 6 more people called to say they're coming, that's the party that these guys did tonight. We're at 103%, not 100. We're sold out plus another 15 or 20. Thank you to the gang who've been streaming tonight because many people had families and friends. So thank you for that great offer. I think they would like to get a picture of all of the inductees up on stage before we eventually leave. So before you leave, if you can come on up and get that picture. But for those of you who need to get on the road, we're going to be back next year, bigger and better. We'd love you to think about that hockey team, that coach, that builder, that athlete, because obviously the Alicia Newmans and Doug Woods of the world are going to pop up. They're just so amazing. But they're great stories from 20 and 30 and 40 years ago, before this Hall of Fame ever happened, that didn't get to be inducted and to be recognized. And to our 3 schools, this table up here are the future of sport. They're the 3 local high schools. They've come out tonight. They've been handing out the awards. And we want to thank you for doing what you do, because at some point you're going to be up here. And you guys, I know, are heading off to university. You're the citizens of the universe that we're going to be looking out for. So thank you very much. Thank you. Have a great night. We're going to turn the lights on, the music on, and finish up the evening. Thank you very much.